Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily short story. Now, before I start today's story, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this short story and any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers and at your local bookstore and local library if you requested, and you can order paperback copies from Amazon. Now, here's today's short story. I hope you enjoyed just as much as I did writing it.
Family together. No one ever leaves family, no one ever leaves their blood, and no one ever escapes hell's place. If only Millie Green had remembered those simple truths, then maybe she wouldn't have suffered a fate way worse than death. The cold night air with refreshing hints of damp, pine and freshly cut grass from the beautiful sunny day earlier, wrapped round Millie like a fake protective blanket. She knew there was no protection tonight, or any night for that matter. She had to escape, she had to run, and she had to do it tonight no matter what. She just had to wait for her foster sister, Alexandria, first. Millie knelt down on the soft muddy ground, made sure she was hidden behind the larger holly bush in her brother's garden, and she let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. The garden was thankfully quiet with its freshly cut grass blowing in the light cool breeze. The large hedges had been stripped bare by the crows feasting on the blackberries, and the house was deadly silent. The dirty white paint peeled off the detached house in the light breeze, the flakes of paint flew away, and she almost wished she could join them. She shook away the silly thought. Alexandria had to come first. She looked at the cracked, churned patio with large weeds growing out the cracks. The slabs were impossible to tell their original size, and large tree roots from next door's apple trees churned up the rest. She had wanted to move out a long time ago, but Jeff had made that impossible. Like he had made so many other things, including happiness, safety and sibling love. Millie was so glad Jeff hadn't woken up when she sneaked past his room at the top of the stairs. None of the golden lights were on inside the house, no one was making any sounds, and she knew she could escape as soon as Alexandria was here. The light breeze calmed down, and Millie's stomach churned and a shiver ran down her back. She didn't want Jeff to wake up and stop her. She had been on the streets of Hell's Place a few years ago. At least on the streets, in the cold, wet, and the rain pounded her bare flesh like bullets, she had been safe. She shook her head at her own stupidity. Jeff had been young, kind, and all he had ever wanted was a family. His offer was nice, kind, and generous. Millie grinned at the memory of his kindness. He had offered her a family, food, and a place to call home, but Jeff wasn't a good brother. He tortured them if they disobeyed, he beat them if they were naughty, and he killed them if they didn't want to be part of his family anymore. The patio doors opened. Alexandria's head was thrown out and the head rolled towards Millie. Millie shook, sweat poured down her back and her stomach tightened. This couldn't be happening. Jeff couldn't be awake. Jeff couldn't have killed Alexandria. Not the only friend she had here, not the only person who was brave enough against Jeff, and the only person who cared about her like a true sister. Or lover. Millie came out from behind the hedge. Alexandria's blue eyes were blinking and staring right at her, and Alexandria tried to mouth something but Millie couldn't understand it. "You really thought you could escape," Jeff said. Millie froze. Her heart jumped to her throat. Her body shook. She looked at Jeff. His navy blue suit, tie and trousers looked almost invisible in the darkness of the night. He grinned at her. That was all part of his fear, his control, and Millie wanted to run but her legs wouldn't listen. She willed her legs to run, move, or even react. Her legs were like lead, and she knew she was not going anywhere. Jeff stepped onto the churned-up patio. He grinned and sniffed the delightfully cool night air. Millie took a step forward, more out of fear and instinct than any willingness to get closer to the monster. Jeff whipped out a blood-soaked sword. Small droplets of dark red rich blood dripped onto the patio, and the tree roots slithered towards the new source of food. "I loved you, you know that, right?" Jeff asked, watching the tree roots devour the new blood. "You were my sister. My favorite sister, and you try to abandon me." Millie shook her head. These were all lies, all his emotional manipulation and all his games. She had to leave now. Millie turned, ran towards the back gate, and a tree root wrapped round her ankle. She slammed onto the ground, her chin hitting a tree root, and pain radiated through her jaw. Jeff pretended to cry. This is so hurtful that you would leave me. I'm your brother. I love you and you're my everything. Why do you want to leave? Because you're a monster, Millie said. Millie screamed as the tree root raised her into the air, hung her upside down in front of Jeff, and Millie just looked at the patio. She gulped. If the tree root released her, she would fall to her death on the churned-up patio, snap her neck and die. That was the last thing she wanted. Jeff grinned at her, cupped her cheeks, and pressed the sword against her throat. Tell me, why am I such a monster? Jeff asked. All I've ever wanted is a family. We are not a family. You are a controlling, manipulative abuser that keeps us all chained up, locked away, and too scared to leave. That is what family is, Jeff said matter-of-factly. Family is all about control. A parent controls their child to protect them. A parent tells their child what to do, how to act, and how to behave. That is simply what I am doing to all of you. Millie spat at him, but a tree root absorbed the moisture before it could hit him. You are doomed, Jeff said, because you've tried to run away. You need to be punished, and you are going to be made an example of. Jeff put the sword away, clicked his fingers, and talons shot out of them. Millie struggled, kicked, punched. She was not dying today. She was going to live. She had to escape. The tree root tightened its grip round her so much that her legs were shattered, crushed, and blood splattered over the tree roots. Millie was lowered to the ground. Searing pain washing over her, and Jeff gripped her face. Any last words? Jeff asked. Go to hell, she said. Jeff laughed because he was already there with a family that didn't love him. A family that was yet again betraying him, and an ungrateful sister that didn't know everything he did for her. He slipped his talons under the skin of her face, he sliced it off, and he gave her face to the tree roots to devour. They were such good pets. Millie screamed, groaned, and then collapsed from the agony. Jeff kissed her lightly on the head. His lips became covered in blood, he cradled her in his arms, and he took her back upstairs to bed. She was never leaving, never abandoning, and she was always going to be his perfect little sister. No matter what he had to do to keep his family together.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the internet engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.